Hello Cardfighters, Team Deus here. I'm Ethan, and my man behind the camera, Brandon.
Sup?
Welcome to the first of what will be many Narukami deck profiles. If you don't believe me, I have 4 on me right now. Okay, so today we're looking at Descendant, the king of Eradicators. Let's get started. As a starter, Linshu. Like Conroe and Kagura, is there really any argument?
Hard road.
Non-Thunderstrike. In a non-Thunderstrike version of Eradicators, he's number 1. And I still think he's probably the best pressure starter. One of.
He's up there.
If I come against a deck, Eradicators and Linshu's on there, you go, oh crap, my starters are threatened from the first attack. So, you know. For those of you who don't know his skill by now, it's CB1, put into the soul. When a Vanguard... Is it when it's boosted? When an attack on a Vanguard that hits at this unit boosted, you can put it into the soul, choose one of your opponent's grade 1 or less rear guards and retire it. So, starters, bye-bye. Moving on to grade 3s. We play 4 copies of Eradicator, Dragonic Descendant, Sigma. Oh, his new form, so pretty. As for standalone Vanguard, he's not really that good, but he's designed to make Zillion that much better. His on-stride skill is Counterblast 1 card with Eradicator in its card name. Where your G unit with Eradicator in its original card name stride, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose one of your Vanguards and it gets 10k. So that's any Eradicator Vanguard gets the 10k. And when it stands, drive +1. So keep Zillion at triple check on both attacks and 36k base. It's really nice. And the rearguard skill, which is why you see him teched into Vanquisher and whatnot, is Counterblast 1, choose a card from your hand and discard it. At the end of the battle, this unit attacked the Vanguard. If the attack did not hit, stand this unit. Basic Descendant skill, really. Really good. Must have it 4. Make Zillion dope, and he's an amazing rearguard. Next, we play 3 OG Descendants. Just Descendant-based deck, you need Descendant Heart. A lot of cards use Descendant, so Descendant in name. And if you do hit that point, you know, he's non-G-Reg, he's LB4, gets a crit. Used to dominate in his day. Yeah, so this is a 3.
A set and a half.
In his day, which was a set and a half.
A set and a half.
On to grade 2s, I play 3 copies of Eradicator, Dragonic Descendant. His skill is on place. If you have a Vanguard with Descendant in its card name, you can Counterblast 1. Your opponent chooses one of her rear guards and his or her rear guards and retires it. That's the first skill. Second skill is when your unit with Descendant in its original card name is placed on Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose one of your opponent's rear guards in the front row and retire it. What I like about this is it does have the bit of a retire pressure that Eradicators are semi-known for with their guerrilla warfare tactics, and it works over 2 turns. So you hit your turn, call, burn a unit, next turn, stride, burn another unit. So, yeah, play that at 3. Very nice. Next, I play 4 copies of Tracking Eradicator Dokukakuji. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce that card. His first skill, which is the main reason I play him, is he gets 2k if you have an Eradicator Vanguard. So he's an 11k beat. Non-G-Reg, so you can do it on your second turn, have a couple of 11k swings at their 7 or possibly even 6k grade 1. His second skill, which can come in useful on Descendant swing turns, is at the end of the battle that your grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Eradicator and its card name attacked. If the attack did not hit, you can pay the cost, and this unit and that unit get 5k. So if you have the spare resources and Zillion swings in and misses, which is what you kind of wanted to happen, he becomes a 16k and Zillion gets another 5. So it's pretty good. Good for rushing. Good 11k. I like it. And finally, for grade 2s, a decision which some people might not think of or appreciate. 4 Thunder Boom Dragons. 10k. What can I say? You hit a 10k, it's defensive. Yeah, I'd much rather this over Zuitan at the moment in this deck, because I don't know, Zuitan doesn't work as well in this deck through playtesting, but the 10Ks are always found to be more useful. So, yeah. That's it for grade 2s. Moving on to grade 1s. Play 4 copies of Dragon Dancer Anastasia, the OG unflip one. Counterblast can be a bit of a issue in this deck. You can hit points where you have no CB. This is probably the best PG in the game in for Narukami for this deck, given that it's a guaranteed counter charge. You can hit 3 counter charge, assuming you're not playing something that binds. Yeah, obvious 4 in my opinion. Next, we play 4 Flame Column Eradicator Castres. Eradicator Stride Fighter. This has the Eradicator in name, makes it a bit more consistent. And its other skill is, when this is discarded for the cost of Stride, you can look at the top 7 for a grade 3 Eradicator. Yep, so 4 in any Eradicators. Next I play 2 copies of Eradicator Demolition. 10k attacker, good if you are in a tight situation, good for early game rush. Yeah, nothing really else to say about that. And finally, I played 2 copies of Shuki, Steel-Blooded Eradicator Shuki. There's enough retiring in this deck that you can get him, 13, 15k base booster, which is just good to have a really strong booster to make those nice columns. So, yeah, I just played 2 of those because this deck isn't really based on retiring anything. And finally, for grade 1s, I play 3 copies of Eradicator Strike Slasher Dragon. He's the Descendant resource card. His first skill is G1. When an attack hits a Vanguard during the battle, this unit boosted. If you have a Vanguard with Descendant's card name, countercharge 1. Yeah. And then his second skill is at the end of the battle that your Vanguard with Descendant in its card name attacked the Vanguard and didn't hit, you soul charge 1. That's only once per turn, otherwise it would be, soul charge 2 for each one. 4's a bit too clunky, you don't really need 4, but 3 hits a good even number of, you can get the resources going. So, yeah, 3. On to triggers, I play 4 heals. Eradicator heals, mainly for consistency and name value. I imagine the Narukami countercharge, soul charge heal will be Eradicator, so I'll probably use that when that comes out. But at the moment, just vanilla heal. Then I play 4 draws. I've only got 2 blue gems, otherwise I'll play 4. But drawing in this deck is really nice. You really want to draw in this deck, so playing any less than 4, you end up with a semi-small hand, and it can be hard to defend, and discarding for Descendants is something you have to do, so yeah. Then I run 2 Eradicator Sharpening Pack stands, mainly for the resource, put in the soul countercharge 1. As countercharge is an issue, 4's a bit too much. You don't really restand reguards in this deck, but 2's, yeah. Then I play 6 crit. 4 Shiva, it's a Margle crit clone in Soul 3k, and then 2 yellow gem, 6 crits. Being able to restand with a critical Vanguard is just like, ha 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 ha. So yeah. On to the Stride Zone. I'm pretty sure everyone knows what's coming. 4 copies of True Eradicator, Dragonic Descendant, Zillion. He's Dragonic Descendant, but in Stride form, essentially. activate his cost, he does have to persona flip, so just... But when he attacks and he doesn't hit, it can be quite cost heavy. The CB1, SB2, discard 3 to restand him for and gets drive -1. So that's why Sigma especially has made him just that much better, because he's a 36k base for 2 attacks, and that drive -1 doesn't really count because he says +1 when he stands. So you get 6 checks over 2 attacks, 36k minimum, and you don't minus by discarding the 3 cards. He's the main win con of the deck, to be honest. You know, if your opponent's on 3 damage, they'll often let him hit so he doesn't restand. But 4 or 5 damage, and he just eats cards from hands because you don't want him to hit, because crits and shit. Next, I play for True Eradicator Aconitum Linshu. A lot of people said he was bad when he came out. I don't know why. He's actually quite good. His cost is Counterblast 1, Persona Flip, and choose a Regard with Eradicator, put it into the soul. And for each face-up card in your G-Zone, your opponent chooses 2 of his or her Regards and retires them. So if you use him first stride, you're nuking 2. Any other point past the first stride, it's a complete board wipe. So if you got Shuki on the board, you can get lots of power for those guys. But yeah, nice 4 of good first stride, good secondary stride behind Zillion. If you don't think you can do Zillion, you can always make them hard resource by having to call a new board. So yeah. Next I play 2 Conquering Supreme Dragon, Conquest Dragon. A dragon so cool, it says dragon twice. He's, I think, the first Narukami Stride boss. Skill, Persona Flip. If it's, I think you technically have to be G2. Yeah, if there's 2 or more cards in your G-Zone, you retire your opponent's front row, and your front row gets 5k for each of the open circles. So he gets 10k, both Regards get 10k if it's a full front. He's mainly there because sometimes you don't want to use Linshu. They might only have 1 or 2 units on the board, and Zillion's a bit expensive, so he's there as a third option if you want a power turn. Great 2 of. Wouldn't play it without him. Next, I run 1 G8. Need I say more? The G8 for Narukami is dope. If at this point you don't know the skill, on place, retire, all players return all of units on their field, and your opponent binds every card in their drop zone, and every unit on your field, himself included, gets 2k for each card in the drop zone, in the bind zone. So 20 cards in there, 40k to the field. Power, just power. Ultimate power. He closes game, it's in his name. Close it, Dragon, it's in his name. Moving on to G-Guards. As you see, there's no Sea Breeze. It's not a G-Reg deck, you don't need Sea Breeze. Onto G-Guards, you play 2 Impede Dragons. Just nuking your opponent's board on their turn. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. It's too good, it's too good. And he builds to the G8 faster in this deck, which can be really nice. So yeah, I play 2 of those because it's too good not to. And then I play 3 copies of Mystic Wisdom Creation Brahma. He's not Thunderstrike restricted, which, thank God, I'm pretty sure he's the only not impede that is. His skill is choose 2 cards of different grades from the drop zone and bind them, and this unit gets 10k. Yeah, 25k shield. It's just best you can get if you're not running Thunderstrike. So yeah, 3 of those.
For those of you who are wondering, we are filming outside, and that is probably a chainsaw going on, from what I can tell.
Yeah. Thanks for watching the Descendant deck profile. There will be more Narukami coming eventually. I do have many a deck. So thanks for watching. Enjoy. We'll see you next time.